Olivia, I had to do it. I had
It's
to
okay.
do it. I'm sorry.
He was getting to the end. I think we're at like the 10 minutes left on the flock of
I feel like Del is going to end up having to talk to Charlotte about like I need to take out the other one. It's gonna pop anyways, right? Like if my timing, if my mental time is correct, I'm just gonna.
Charlotte will not be chill with that.
No, I know.
One, Hester's is still in the demi-plane, so he's not even there. And Swoops is over by Tasha. So we'll see what that comes
I
about.
won't kill Swoops. Swoops is normal. Just like extras. They multiply. Can't have that.
Well, Swoops is also going to go away because he was only here under the Flock of Familiar spell.
To be clear, we are starting the next session all together in the treasury. Yeah?
Yeah.
And we are going to be doing some old-fashioned dice rolling. We are going to roll some dice, and we are going to randomly determine some treasure, and I'm going to give each of you a chance. And I'm going to give each of you a chance to re-roll your treasure options. It's going to be awesome. It's not loot boxes because you're not paying for them.
Dun-duns and dry-duns?
How do you all feel after the showdown?
Calder's a little miffed that it wasn't Anton. Not really. It was just the puppet that they made him.
Yeah.
Which is why he's confident that when he does get the chance to raise Anton from the dead, his pride will make him want to accept. Because at that point he needs revenge on the people who turned him into a puppet. The one thing he would never allow.
Right.
If they came to him and just offered him a bribe, that would have been one thing, but they didn't.
And I loved, I mean, obviously you were going to pick up on that, but I loved how you picked up on that because I gave Olivia very, very specific instructions to stay silent. Because Anton is fighting this with every fiber of his being, but he just doesn't have what it takes to overcome this blight. So like this is Yerk level territory. And wow.
Indomitable stopped that from being a total sweep for us.
The the heroism also helped a whole lot.
And
it did.
And we did specifically like so above the table, as M says, when I was planning out this fight, Chomper was always going to be Chomper, right? He was just going to be a wild card. You were going to control him. The real threat was always Anton. I almost gave Anton an extra level to give him access to counterspell. But
we thought about it.
I feel like that. I think it worked out great as is. So like I don't regret.
My plan, the way I structured it, I assumed he did. So that's why I was.
It would have been really cool to counter your counter.
Because he needs line of sight on me to counter.
Oh, that's right. That's fair.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing.
He can't counter shit.
That's the other thing. Like
I
thought it was going to be when I saw your preparations, I was like, this might be a roll. But like level 12 characters, you can never count them out, right? And Anton, we did specifically engineer because the enemy knows who Calder is. The enemy knows what Anton means to Calder. So they equipped him with a mantle of spell resistance, and they made sure that he, learned how to deal with mages up front. So that's thus the Mage Slayer technique. He also had telekinesis.
He had Mage Slayer back when we did the Halloween
That's also true.
But like
Anton. I was
Mage Slayer on feet specifically to be a counter to me because canonically our story is after the first dungeon, Calder went home and got into a fight with Anton, which ended with Calder hitting him with Bigby's crush, the crushing grasp,
the grabby hand one,
the earthen grasp,
yeah,
and just like kept squeezing him until he was just an immobile man inside of a metal sleeve, and blacked out. And then when he woke up, Calder won, and that was like the impetus for him to go no.
Yeah.
He's come a long way since then. And by the way, showcasing the power of single class characters on occasion, because I know we all have, and I love this. I love having my multi-class combo parties, but having a level 12 single class character, and I know Jeff, you got that too, is pretty incredible.
But I also got to debut a tactic I've wanted to use ever since I got it. I got to T-Rex out.
Yes. And we got some zone of control and then trying to fling people into that zone of control, which is another great tactic, which I love it when I see.
It worked. That thing is going to unfortunately stay there for the next 8 hours. I'm sorry.
It's just going to be like, well, this sucks.
you summoning the one there means that the one in Baba Yaga's personal chambers isn't there anymore.
Correct.
That's also
But
true.
it only lasts 8 hours, so
Yeah,
that was
until you
already
cast it
gone.
No,
So
it's
they're
not.
like the
Oh,
three
You
like,
took
no,
a
wait.
5-minute nap. It's like
It's
because you
still
cast it
there.
again, it's only
That's funny. Yeah, you're right.
you can only have one instance of a particular spell up at a time.
How did you
Unless
like the
that's how it
Green
works.
Sisters?
oh, I loved them. I
Why
loved
did
the interpretation of them.
I am married and monogamous.
Uh,
Cute though.
like Calder would have
Thank you. I
flirted
am
back, but
married
no
and
one
monogamous.
did.
I have
So
two
he,
kids.
No, there was
no one
something about that armor.
It's like that's fine. I don't care. It's like yeah, Dell gets the spotlight. Don't care about that.
Oh.
So it let him like focus on being polite and genteel to all three.
Yeah.
Dell, the name that comes with the Sending Stone is Tabitha, by the way.
Lovely.
Perfect.
I'm gonna have to talk to my wife about this.
There's the one point where you're like, I'm gonna blight the area around him, and I'm like, are you?
I'm not. That's
Maybe
fine.
not.
That would be rude.
I could have done it and probably would have been forgiven for it. I didn't need to be forgiven for anything. So I just like, no, that's fine. I don't need I don't need to expend that favor.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to piss off 3 hags at once.
Yeah. We got all 3 on our side though. That was good.
Yeah. Dell had one on her side basically immediately.
A perfectly timed nat 20.
Yeah, that was because I had basically I had set with them. I mean, combat was an option, but it wouldn't have gone well for you because there's like a dozen scrags in the water, and you would have been overwhelmed pretty quick. If you had lost either there or at against Chomper and Anton, I would have had the ground swallow you, and you would have been deposited in whatever state you were in front of Tasha in the treasure room.
Yeah.
The Green Sisters would just be like, nope, they're just going over there, and so you would have been making death saves there, and then, probably would have been able to wake up. But like,
that's interesting because that implies that the Green Sisters and Tasha are coordinating or working together.
Yeah, I mean, the letter that Tasha left for us specifically said, "Do not attack them."
Yeah.
So they have.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were told that. So it sounds like they're on the same side here. That's fantastic.
If you do research about them later, I will let you repeat those roles that I gave you, and I'll give you bonuses.
What's the name again? I did not write it down.
Tabitha.
Tabitha.
And yes,
Somebody else write that down.
Now that you've seen what they look like, heard what they sound like, if you decide you're going to do research on them, I will let you repeat that. But also, anytime you talk to a new person, like if you talk to Charlotte, maybe she'll know.
Also, Charlotte still has like 4 scrolls of legend lore that we haven't used.
Also true.
Yeah, I think we're saving it for. I think we're like it makes sense that we save it for the crap we're gonna get in the treasure vault.
Oh no, yeah, that or I'm really thinking about Charlotte using one of them to find out more about the nexus of the hut.
That's fair.
That's a good one.
I'm just thinking like running in the back of Dell's head is just like, don't do it. And he is like, yeah, wife.
Because Maven was asleep, but both Calder and Dell were awake when Charlotte was talking to Tasha about her plan of taking the hut and running with it, moving it to a place where maybe Baba doesn't want to come after it. Or, yeah, like, Charlotte hasn't shared exactly where in the Shadowfell she wants to take it. But, like, wherever we're at, wherever Tasha deems, better to talk in.
Like, I have some theories, but we haven't spoken about it, so I'm keeping my shit to myself.
Yeah.
If we do go to the Shadowfell, that'd be interesting because I have someone there I need to chat with.
Yeah. Well,
we all have a lot of people who we know in the Shadowfell.
Yeah.
Yes and no. When Tasha said like that would be suicide or that's a crazy idea, and Charlotte was like, "You don't have to come with." Like,
just because you're scared doesn't mean.
Well, and I don't know whether Charlotte's planning on asking the other people to come with if they can indeed take the hut. Because we saw in the little thing in Baba's personal chambers, it's real fucking close. We're getting real close to like the deadline here.
Yeah.
And time's already gone weird. So maybe not all of us can afford to fuck off to Shadowfell if that plan does have fruit.
Like I'm assuming that we have until essentially the end of a day in here, so we really need to get going. Yeah. But for the fight, oh my god, that was essentially we did exactly what I wanted to do, which was we fought both of them separately, not together.
Yeah. The control on Chomper was very, very solid, and so it got to be almost one-on-one, but Dell did, of course, come in and land the finishing blow, which was awesome.
Low-key MVPs, though, are the Hound of Ill Omen.
Yeah.
Just
I know that hound was pretty rad.
And was surprisingly sturdy.
It never landed a hit on Anton.
But it was there. That's what matters.
And it gave that disadvantage.
But it was there and canceling out your advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what it's for.
The advantage was there to cancel out your dog.
But yeah, them being, I was happy because it meant that I got you once and then Indomitable.
Yeah.
But you can only use that once.
No, I meant the dog's bite. It never hit it.
I don't care about that.
Yeah.
But it was the Indomitable that really saved Anton's ass there.
It was a turnaround moment, definitely, because that could have been a stomp, right?
Yeah.
But then it wasn't, and you had to pay just enough attention to Chomper to where we got a really great back and forth. Like the moment Calder said, "I'm turning into a T-Rex," I was like, Anton had better crit on this attack of opportunity, or else this is not going to work out for him.
Well, I mean, he did hit the T-Rex a few times, but it wasn't enough. Calder had to spend his inspiration to not pop out of polymorph. If he had popped out of polymorph, maybe things would have gone.
Things might have gone differently. Yes. Again, Dell didn't get hurt a lot though, so it would have then been Anton versus Dell, and that, given how much health Anton still had left, I don't know. It would have been amazing either way, but it was great as it went.
If I had gotten one more turn, he has a few other nasty fucking spells like Hold Person.
Mm-hmm.
I got that. I had it prepared for this whole situation.
And also for that T-Rex, if you hadn't managed to hit me, if you hadn't grappled me, my plan was to cast Levitate on the T-Rex because you don't have a very good save against it, and just have you be 50 feet in the air.
It does have a really good reach, but
it also has tiny arms.
Just have you be there and him walking.
That would have been so funny.
Just to waste your time.
The way things could have gone.
Actually.
But I didn't get to do it. There was a bunch of different things. It was a very interesting fight.
Yeah. Anton is definitely capable of taking out Calder. It's just that Calder is shockingly hard to kill sometimes.
Yeah. And starting with the darkness, I thought was going to be a bigger problem than it ended up being for them, because concentration. Once I know generally where you were, the sword sword burst was a stroke of genius.
It was the reason I went with the whole monster spell to start was because I saw they were right next to each other. There was never going to be a better opportunity to hit them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you're right.
No, that was the right call. Oh, that's so good. And to have such a great tactical combat right on the heels of another really great tactical combat. And they were very different, right? There were only 4 people involved in this well, I mean 5 if you include the dog.
I think that
I'm not counting Dives.
Yeah, fair. But I think
Dives was over there Michael Jackson popcorning it the whole time.
What I really think though is that this really did just exemplified the personality of all 3 of these brothers having a fight.
Yeah. And
so Calder and Dell, they do work together. They do they know how each other, they instinctively just know how each other operate. And Dell, and I like the implied story that Anton knows he can't take Dell in a fight. Or at least he believes that, and so focused on Calder, whom he believed was the threat.
So, because of how I was directed to do Anton, he's here to kill you. He's still smart, but he's very single-minded.
Also,
the fact that
Dell is a surprise.
Dell is a surprise, but there's dense foliage. I could have drawn this out, made this an even longer fight if I had tried to stealth around and pull Chomper out before coming at you, break line of sight. There was a lot more tactical things I could have done, but I just wanted to fucking hit you.
Yeah, if this were like a proper exhibition match on opposite sides of of an arena, and part of the game is to find each other, could have been interesting.
Yeah.
If it were like an arena, could have been differently interesting.
Calder wins in that situation.
This felt like we're in a back alley trying to murder each other.
No, the best way you beat a sorcerer is you hit him until he stops moving, right? Because you have to take one turn, maybe two at the most, but you burn your action surges, you do everything you can, you hit that sorcerer until he stops moving, because if you don't, he's gonna hit you with a spell that you can't resist. It's gonna happen. So I think you made the right call there.
I have focused Calder's build around save or suck spells, because I can't roll d20s to save my soul.
So you make other people do it.
I make you roll them.
I gotta say, his saves were kind of bullshit.
Pretty great.
No, you're right.
The dice tell a story. The dice tell a story.
I also have. I'm packing like heals, but I want to say 98% of my heals do not work if you are above half hit points.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm below that at the moment.
Now.
For whatever we face in the treasury.
Yeah. But it's like, like my biggest healing spell will heal you up to your half point, which is like 37.
Yeah, so it's not a lot. Calder does not have a lot of
So you're a lot better at getting people back up than keeping them up.
This was funny.
Like, I'm a wall.
This is very easily the second most damage Calder has ever taken. The only other thing that's done more damage to him was the goddamn iron golems.
Yeah. Keep that magical vicious glaive. Y'all should loot that.
Yeah, that's probably a thing.
We did.
Anton's losing his stuff. He gets none of that back even after we raise him.
You'll be lucky if he gets a pair of enchanted boxer briefs.
He has a few magic items on him. I left everything in the inventory. I did get rid of the potion of heroism because he drank it, but everything else is still there.
Yep.
So we'll claim his gear. We'll give him a pair of boxers with hearts on them, and
we're gonna give him magic item boxers. Okay. They're gonna be misweave. He can pick between 3 different colors of hearts.
Have you ever read Dungeon Crawler Carl?
I haven't.
No.
You would like it. It's very much in the same kind of humor as Orconomics.
Ooh.
And it's a very like tongue-in-cheek, like pseudo isekai of a dude surviving an apocalypse and being boarded into a video game. It's funny. It's very funny. I love some
good lit RPG stuff.
It's very much in that vein, so I would recommend it.
Sounds
Dungeon
fantastic.
Crawler Carl. There are 6 books in the series. They're very quick to devour. They're fun.
I took a bath and I want to take another one.
Well, are we about done here?
We're about. But because my magical crystal ball is telling me that I'm going to end up turning this into 2 separate sessions, let's go ahead and go around and do our the thing that we had fun with and the person we think gets inspiration. Let's do that, because this was a hell of a session unto itself. And I feel like it's probably, instead of mixing it up like I was going to, I'm probably just going to do them separately as 2 different sessions. I don't know how the scheduling is going to work yet. Don't ask me. I'll figure it out. But, Jeff, what did you have some fun with? And who do you think gets inspiration?
I think Olivia gets the inspiration because
I still have mine. I didn't want to use it for Anton.
You're the only ones who used it, Jeff.
I almost gave one to Anton.
So it should go to me. This was my catharsis moment. Because I did, like, this was the fight that we've been like hyping up between these two since Anton came on screen, and that I've been wanting since I made this character. So like this was it. Like we got the fight. We got to see these two actually fight, and the thing that came out on top was that I had backup and I denied him his.
Yeah, that was a great fight,
and it worked really well. The fight really did represent the personalities of all parties involved. Like taking the fight as a whole was like the moment for me. But if I had to choose one specific moment, it was because for me it was the turning point of the fight for the end. Was just the pride of looking into Anton's eyes and then turning into a fucking T-Rex.
And this has been foreshadowed for a while, right? You did it to
And,
Echo once already.
And so, like, just the mindset of Anton, even behind that, even behind the eyes of the creature he's fighting for control, seeing his brother, whom he hates, turning into a giant fucking lizard, and then starts chewing on him. Just, Olivia, I want that drawing of that. I would love that.
Speaking of Olivia, why don't you tell us what you had fun with? Who do you think gets inspiration?
I had a lot of fun choking out a T-Rex. Even if it was Anton doing it, that was still like such a bullshit move, and I loved doing it. I have to say I'm throwing the inspiration points towards M, because I had a plan almost for everything that Jeff could do with Calder, but I didn't know what the fuck Del was gonna do, and you so effectively locked down his backup. Just made it this pointless like side quest to go kill Chomper. It was masterfully done, and just that fucking moment of I hit, I shield, inspiration, fuck your shield.
I got it. Yeah, don't fuck with the cleric's turn on dead.
Nope. It's shockingly effective, especially with the zombie.
Like, it doesn't come up often in a lot of the games that I've played. But when it do.
Yeah. It's one of those things that when it hits hard. And it took out literally half and almost 2/3 of the hit points of the whole. That guy had 176 hit points.
And he has resistance for fucking everything.
So if that hadn't killed him, or if he had been at full health when he tanked that,
that is just the runaway part.
Yeah.
If
he had been at full health when he tanked that smite, he would have survived it. But he had already been fucking cut to shit.
Hey, I want y'all to know that I have 2 level 5 spell slots.
Did you use both of them?
Yeah, I did.
Em, what did you have fun with? Who do you think gets inspiration?
One for each. I feel like so as much as this was Calder's like, I'm gonna kick my brother's ass moment and stuff, and it was great and beautiful and wonderful, Calder didn't get the finishing blow. Which is what Delmain was born to do.
Yeah, don't make him dirty his hands.
Yes.
And like that, you don't know, that was definitely all of that's factoring into Calder's mindset, and he's definitely.
It's so good. It's so good.
If Del wasn't there, Calder didn't have a chance against Anton.
That is 100% true.
Del's like entire thing with Calder is very much like a protective older brother thing. And he sees Calder on this path to like corruption and bullshit and stuff. And he knows that fratricide and patchicide are steps on that path. And Del refuses to stand by and watch Calder take steps on that path.
I really hope that comes up in game sometime.
Every single time that Del decides to try to fight a family member to the death, Del will do his very best to steal that kill from him. And the fact that I got to do it means that I got a fucking checkbox.
And Calder still fully intends to resurrect Anton, but only once he's positive that the plant is in the system.
That's fine. That's fine.
And maybe when you're outside of this hellacious place.
Exactly.
But it's definitely one of those but you didn't get to make the kill, so that's not a stain on your soul.
And once he's resurrected, we do the plans and so on.
Whatever the fuck you want to do with them after that.
And then we hit, and then because I love the idea of I'm gonna love the role play scene of Calder pulling Anton back to life, and because like what Anton would feel is in the Shadowfell, or wherever his soul ends up, is the call of someone he hates going, "Hey, come back to life! Come on, you know you want to." You know that if you don't, you're just letting the people who mind controlled you have the final say of your story.
Neither, motherfucker.
And like, come on, buddy. It's like, come on, asshole, get out of here. You know you don't want this to be how it ends.
Yeah.
You need to go to school. Get out of bed.
I have some stuff prepared for that, and I'm very much looking forward
to
that.
I
scene
love
too.
the idea of like, because normally Holda's like, they know who's resurrecting them, so like it's supposed to be someone they love and trust. Will pull them out of the provision.
Nope.
It's very much like, a sup, asshole, get out of here.
Fantastic. Friends, that was a hell of a session of Dungeons and Dragons. I have to give very special thanks to Gale for piloting a very tactically difficult encounter, especially since I couldn't help. I knew that Chomper had, I keep calling him Chopper. Chomper had the possibility of being very powerful, but also he could have flared out, right? Like, he had grapple options and like he could do great weapon fighting and stuff, but like not if he is paralyzed and or turned the entire combat. He got one set of attacks and it was on a dog.
You made like you had me design Chomper, and I designed him as a very specific cannon, but because I was the one that built him, I knew exactly where those holes were.
Yeah. And I wanted that because Calder is fucking clever and Dell is fucking clever. Let's do pluggables and get out of here.
How many damage did I do?
152. It was 76 double.
I think it's Chomper. I haven't done the count for what you did to Anton yet.
No, that was
in one attack. That is the current show record for most damage done in one attack. Paladins are broken, but also amazingly awesome.
I also didn't add an additional spell. I only used the Divine Smite. I could have thrown extra shit on that.
M, you're one silver key on everything, yeah? Or
I'm
is it silver
I'm
key
one
finder?
silver key in all of the places.
One silver key, yes.
I am working on getting to the streaming point again. The new computer is up and running. So that's the thing.
Excellent. I also want to do some game streaming at some point. It's been a while. Gail, I feel like there's a place that people can go to look at your artwork and fan fiction.
Yep, Measure of Separation. It's misspelled. I'll probably put it in chat because I'll be live in chat. It's a Tumblr, and read at your own risk. There is indeed fanfic there.
There is indeed fanfic there.
And finally, Jeff, you have been so busy doing like moving and other things, but when you get back around to being able to create, where can people find you?
People will be able to find me at Still Tired and Angry on all of the things, because I am both of those things.
Friends, thank you very much. We're going to see you in the next session. Have a great night. And we're out.